I'll save somebody the question. We'll have an update on Poku tomorrow or the day after we go to evaluate him, but no further update right now.
Paris Lawson Valley Sports coach, this entire homestand was just full of close games, but this one was very different. It seemed like you guys were able to get out to a strong start, 70 first half points. Just what did you think of the tone you all were able to set early on?
Good pace offensively. I thought, the defense got a little loose there in the second quarter, but I thought we did a really good job, especially in the fourth quarter, of defending. The other night against New Orleans, in a similar situation where we could have used stops and rebounds to kind of slam the door on the game. Obviously didn't do that as well as we could. I thought our focus down the stretch was really good. Even the shots they made, they really had to earn, and it allowed us to kind of open the game up there at the end.
68 bench points. Obviously, Mike was a huge factor as well. What do you think of the next man up mentality that group showed tonight?
Yeah, really good. I thought top to bottom we were pretty good tonight. I thought everybody contributed. Wiggins, was ready to play. Having Poke out introduced him to the rotation. I wasn't planning on using him that much, and he did a great job. Cameron's great job. Trey Mann, great job. Isaiah, all those guys. So like I said, top to bottom, good team win.
Mark, typically your best quarter has been the third quarter. They kind of landed a punch against you all. What did you like about the way that you all responded to that and ran through the finish line in the fourth?
Well, I thought at the end of the first half, that group that closed the half kind of picked up the slack for the group that handed the game off to them earlier in the quarter, and then it kind of flipped at the end of the third quarter. They cut into the lead, and then that same group to start the fourth really kind of extended the game and got us off to a really good start to the fourth quarter. Did it with stops, did it with execution. And so, like I said, good team win, good job of picking each other up. It wasn't perfect, but the guys, helped each other out.
Shai had 4 blocks tonight. It's not often you see a star guard like that have that kind of versatility. Can you just kind of talk about his night on the defensive end?
Yeah, I mean, I think he doesn't have 4 blocks every night, but he defends every night, and he's 6'6", and he's got great length, and he's got a care factor on that end of the floor, and it's really, we've had a good defense here for a good 10, 12-game stretch, and he's a big part of that. He plays a lot of minutes, and he carries his weight on that end of the floor, and so that's an area that we can continue to improve, is just continue to stack stops together and force teams to earn it against us. And I thought we did that tonight, especially down the stretch.
And then it was your first look at rookie Jeremy Sohan. He filled the stat sheet. Can you just kind of talk about his night too?
Yeah, I mean, he's a versatile player. He can pass, dribble, handle, facilitate offense. You could play him in the front court and in the back court, and he's a really versatile defender. So he's a guy that has a bright future. All this experience will help him. They have good young players.
Jalen Williams had a slow start in that first half, but really got going in the second half. What did you see out of him tonight?
That I thought, he left a little bit to be desired early with his aggressiveness. We were really trying to nudge him to be aggressive and to be physical, even on offense with the ball in his hands. And he's still trying to find that balance. And I thought, he got it going a little bit in the second half. The play he finished on a dunk was an impressive play, and he made the play of the game. That he came out of nowhere for that loose ball and then dove on the floor. That was a hell of a play. I mean, those are just plays that are easy to get excited about. It's point of pride when our team was the team making that type of play.
Andrew Schlecht of The Athletic, just a lower amount of minutes for Lou tonight. Was just that a byproduct of others having it going, or what was that?
Yeah, I probably would have gone back to him, but I mean, he was a little under the weather, to be honest with you, but went through shoot around and everything. And then I thought, like, that group to close the game, I just kind of rolled with those guys. They were playing so well, and they had such good chemistry going. It was not an indictment on him. It was kind of a hot hand type thing with those 5 guys.
And Trey gets nearly 30 minutes tonight. Looked like he really had it going, had that big-time step back on Roby toward the end of the game. What did you see from him?
Yeah, I thought, obviously the blue thing, delivered its purpose, which is to kind of, like, reset him, get him back to zero from a confidence standpoint. That definitely happened. He did a great job, even the other night against New Orleans. And then, but he's got a ways to go. He still has things he's got to work on, simplifying his game, improving the foundation of his game offensively with the catch and shoots. That's not lost on us, but we need him out there kind of rocking and playing with the confidence he did, and he had that going tonight.
And then you and Brett Brown seemed to have a friendly exchange after the game. Do you know Brett from other interactions or?
No, I've actually never met him, but we have Chip here, and Connor Johnson, who's on staff, was really, really close to them in Philly. And so I've heard, like, hundreds of Brett Brown stories. Billy Donovan's close to them.
Yeah.
Sam's close to them. So I literally had never met the guy, but he's a Northeast guy. And so I've got a lot of common traits with him and just introduced myself.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Mark, in pregame, you talked a lot about the defense and an uptick in that way and that category and tightening the screws on that end. What exactly are you guys doing differently that's really helped out in this recent stretch?
Nothing different. Just like turning the dial a little bit, especially in the help. First level help, like at the elbows and at the nail. With our our primary help defender, and then earlier help around the rim and around the paint. Early in the season, we were having success, but we were contesting a lot of shots at the rim, and that opens you up to fouls. It opens you up to offensive rebounds. And one thing we've really tried to improve is, just eliminating some of those shots, not just contesting them, but just trying to take the rim out and force them to shoot jump shots. And I think we've kind of turned that up here for the last 10 or 12 games, and we're seeing good results from that.
This is only the 27th time in Thunder history that the team has had 10 blocks and 10 steals in the same game. Can you just talk about the effort and activeness you guys had tonight?
Yeah, I thought, obviously we were active. I think that's a byproduct of being in the right spots and executing the right stuff, and also doing it with a level of intensity and focus. And I thought, we went in and out at times tonight, but for the most part, we had that going. And, certainly down the stretch, like I said, I think when you build a 10-point lead with 6 minutes to go, your defense and your rebounding really becomes what's going to close the game for you. And I thought that happened tonight. I was really pleased with that.
Paris Lawson, Valley Sports. JW, you guys were able to get out to a strong start today. Just how big of a focus was that for you all as a group when you were able to put up 70 points in that first half?
I think we just had a lot of energy getting those 2 or 3 days off. Just coming out and playing hard. Like we've all said kind of before, trying to come out and play right from the tip is something that we want to do. Speaking
of energy, you had a pretty big hustle play that coach pointed out, diving on the floor for that loose ball. Just what was going through your head as you were chasing down that ball in the backcourt?
He showed us film, and we didn't dive for one, so I was just trying to avoid being on film.
J-Dub, you all have been the best third quarter team in the league this year. They actually kind of flipped that script on you, but what did you all do to respond in that fourth quarter?
I just think we understand that basketball is a game of runs. Just playing hard. We thought we got a lot of good looks in the third quarter, too, that just didn't fall. They hit some tough shots. But, it's just a game of runs, kind of understanding that, knowing what we have to do in the fourth quarter to come out to a better start, and I thought we did that.
And then, just offensively, the balance that you have, the way that you all shared the ball, did anything stand out about tonight, or is this, kind of just becoming a more normal for you all?
I think it's just kind of becoming a more normal thing. I think we're all willing to kind of get off it and make plays for each other.
JW, you accepted your Rookie of the Month trophy tonight. How'd that feel in front of the crowd getting that award?
It was cool. Definitely a cool moment to kind of have. It's kind of all I got for it.
J-Dub, they put you a lot in the dunker spot tonight. What's that been like, and how did you feel in that sort of position?
I joke, and I'm a 4. That's what I always say. It just kind of puts usually I have a guard on me, so it kind of puts somebody protecting the rim that's small, and then I'm kind of just waiting to see if somebody's going to make a play and kind of just be ready to make a play off somebody else. So, but usually trying to get an advantage for somebody smaller to protect the rim.
And then Josh hit you with a really nice bounce pass. Do you just have to be high alert at all times when he has the ball?
Yeah, otherwise you're going to get hit in the face, so.
So this year you've had a couple of dunks, and you said you've attributed it to your long arms. You had a nice block in the second half there that it didn't look like you could get to, and you got there and blocked out of bounds. Is that also because you have very long arms?
I kind of shocked myself with that because I jumped late, but shout out God for long arms.
Paris Lawson, Valley Sports. Shai, everyone seemed to contribute in this one. Everybody that stepped into the game scored. The ball was really moving, 68 bench points. Just what did you think of the overall team effort that you guys had tonight?
Yeah, we were good tonight. Offensively and defensively. Rebounding hurt us tonight at times, but for the most part, we were good.
And just in terms of the start you all were able to get out to, I know that's been an emphasis for you all. How are you able to kind of set the tone and get out to a stronger start tonight?
Yeah, just try to be the aggressors, play with pace, play together, and try to make the right decision from the get as soon as the ball tips.
What stood out to you about the fourth quarter effort where you outscored them, I think, by 16, maybe?
That the group that started it really got stops. And then the guys that, I don't know who went in with me, but the rest of the guys kind of continued it. We were really good defensively that quarter. I think they had a few violations, shot clock violations, which says we were good for a long stretch of time. But I think it started defensively for us for sure.
Intersect of the Athletic, 4 blocks tonight. You have the most blocks of any guard in the league so far this season. Was that a point of emphasis heading into this season?
I just try to be good defensively, especially one-on-one. I try to take pride in that, and I kind of take those things personal. But I just try to be good defensively for my team, and wherever that takes me, it takes me.
Follow-up to that, this was the 27th game in Thunder history where you guys had 10 blocks and 10 steals in the same game. Can you just talk about the activeness and effort you guys were giving tonight?
Yeah, we were really good defensively for the most part. We were good on the ball, in the actions, and then rotating. We did enough for sure to give ourselves a comfortable lead, and we saw it tonight.
Nick Galliballi, Sports. Mike, just your thoughts on the team effort, big-time production off the bench, and guys just staying ready.
Yeah, it was a good team win tonight. I thought everybody brought good focus and consistency throughout the 48-minute game. Got off to a good start. Obviously, they made some runs there, but we just stuck with it. Kept encouraging each other and came up with the win. It was a fun game.
You guys have been the best third-quarter team this season by point differential. They kind of delivered a punch in the third. How did you all respond and kind of run through the finish line in the fourth?
I think defense was big for that. Even especially K. Rich coming in, getting some big-time rebounds, playing some good post defense. That was big. Just weathering the storm. That's what you got to rest your hat on when the teams make runs. Instead of trying to get it back on offense, just keep making stops, keep helping each other on defense and rebound, and then you can play your game on offense and let that come to you. But I thought we did a good job just honing in on our defense.
And then you personally, just your readiness to kind of jump into the rotation maybe earlier than you might have expected. I don't know exactly what the plan was, but just how you were able to impact the game after Poke's injury.
Yeah, obviously hate to see Poke go down like that so early in the game, and we're all thinking of him and hope everything's okay. Just trying to stay ready, and I thought Baze did a good job too. K-Rich in there when we went small, and everybody on the team stays ready and just enjoys an opportunity to play.
Mike, this is the second youngest team in NBA history, only followed by your team last year. You're one of the longest tenured vets on the team. What's it like getting to mentor the guys on the team, and who was that vet for you when you first got in the league?
Good question. It's a blessing for me. I'm grateful for it. Every day I get, every practice, every game, to stay active, to be around these great young players who have such bright futures. So, just to be able to keep playing the game that I love and that I've been through a lot with, but, every day that goes by I feel more grateful. And the vets for me, I would say Al Horford, Paul Millsap as well, Elton Brand. Those are guys I play with in Atlanta. Kyle Korver. It was a collective effort for those guys playing on that team. And, I was young on a good team, so I learned a lot from those guys and Coach Bud too.
Speaking of mentoring guys, have you gotten a chance to watch Jalen Williams with the Blues so far this year? And if you have, what have you thought about his game?
Honestly, no, I have not watched any Blue games. But I'm a big fan of his game. His passing, his defense, and just his mindset. He's a confident young guy. I think he's going to have a bright future in this league. some guys on the team, it's amazing to me just how young they are. You know, Poku just turning 21 yesterday, and I'm like, man, he's already his third year in the league. It's crazy. When I was 21, I was still in college. So, I mean, like I said, bright future for a lot of these young players, and I'm excited to see, how they keep progressing. Yeah.
Intersect with the Athletic, Mike, you've gotten to see Shai kind of progress since he's come to Oklahoma City. What have you seen that's different from him, like from a leadership standpoint this season, or is there anything different?
I mean, I've said it another time, but I think his consistency this year has been huge for us and as a leader, as our best player. Just his effort and his focus level and the consistency of that, because it's a long season. He's playing a lot of minutes and he's doing so much for our team. And when we see that, that resonates with us because that means a lot to see your best player just consistently, playing hard on defense, fighting through screens, and then, consistently being aggressive on offense. Like we all know it's not easy at all. So to see that, means a lot to all of us. And I think that's been his biggest step forward this year.
You had 17 pretty early on. Like, do you stop and think like what your career high is? Do you even know what your career high is?
It's 24 points.
Okay.
Yeah.
do you stop to think about that when you have 17 early on? Do you think, oh, might have a chance to get another career high?
I mean, yeah, kind of. I do think.
Yeah.
But J-Rob said that him and Chet had a bet pregame that if who would score more, me or Shai, and it was for $1 million. But he said he was just kidding. But I thought that was pretty funny, and he came up to me during the game. I was like, a little nervous, but I said we'd have won, but it wasn't a real bet. But that was kind of funny.
That's funny.